There's something really strange going on with Henry Cavill's career. Normally, when an actor leaves a big role, the world just kind of moves on, right? They cast someone new, the PR machine fires up, and we all get used to it. But with Henry Cavill, that just doesn't happen. It's the exact opposite. And that's the real mystery we're going to dig into today. Why is it that when he leaves a role, the fan outcry doesn't just fade away? Instead, it gets louder, more passionate, and way more intense over time. This isn't just about him being a good actor. No, this is something much, much deeper. And look, this isn't just a fluke. The pattern is there, clear as day, across his most iconic roles. We're talking The Witcher, we're talking Superman, and, get this, even a role he has literally never played, Wolverine. So let's break it down. All right, let's start with case study number 1, Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher. When Cavill walked away from that show, you can bet Netflix thought, no problem, we'll just get another actor, maybe throw in more dialogue. But they learned a hard lesson, fast. They didn't just lose their star, they lost the very soul of the show. Now you gotta understand who Geralt is. He comes from these amazing Polish novels. He's a monster hunter, mutated by all these crazy chemicals. And yeah, it makes him super strong, but it also strips away most of his ability to show emotion. He's quiet, he's stoic, and he lives in a world that desperately needs him, but also hates his guts. And that is the absolute key here. Cavill just got it. He knew Geralt wasn't some witty, charming hero. He played him like an ancient being, someone who is just tired and has seen way too much violence. He communicated that entire brutal history not with speeches, but with the way he just stood there, completely still. This really breaks down the difference, doesn't it? Cavill's Geralt had this incredible presence, this weight. After he left, the character just started talking all the time, explaining everything. And just like that, the illusion was shattered. That powerful silence was gone, and that intimidating presence, it just evaporated. This really hits the nail on the head. A replacement actor wasn't going to fail because they weren't talented. They were going to fail because they didn't have that same weight. Cavill carried that entire world on his shoulders with his quiet intensity. You take that away, and for millions of fans, the whole thing just falls apart.
Okay, let's move on, and this next one. This one's a bit tougher for fans because with Superman, it's not that Cavill failed. It's that the system failed him. I mean, years later, people are still talking about his version of the character as a story that was just left hanging.
What Cavill did with Superman was honestly revolutionary. He didn't play him as this big, smiling Boy Scout. No, he played his power as a constant, heavy burden. You could almost feel him thinking through every single move, holding back every punch, because he knew the insane damage he could cause just by existing. And look, this didn't come out of nowhere. The man did his homework. He devoured the comics. He got the symbolism. He knew deep down that Superman's real struggle is about self-control, not just smiling for the cameras. He treated the character like a piece of modern mythology that deserved total respect. So here's the tragedy of it all. We never got the full story. We saw part 1, the guy who felt guilty and scared of his own power. We were just starting to see him figure out how to be a symbol for humanity. But that last, most important step, the part where he finally chooses hope in spite of it all, we never got there. And that's why it stings so much for people. This wasn't just an actor leading a movie. It felt like the character himself was just abandoned, right in the middle of his journey. We saw the foundation being laid, we saw the struggle, and then we were robbed of seeing him become the hero he was always meant to be. Which brings us to maybe the wildest example of them all, a role Henry Cavill has never even played, Wolverine. This is where you see the raw power of his impact, because he convinced an audience without a single second of screen time. Let's just be crystal clear on this. That's the number of seconds Henry Cavill has appeared on screen as Wolverine. 0. A big, fat 0. Not in a fan film, not in a post-credit scene, nothing. And yet, the moment the idea was even whispered online, the internet didn't just like it, it became convinced. The reaction wasn't, oh, that'd be cool. It was, oh my God, that's it. That's him. That kind of immediate gut-level acceptance is, well, it's almost unheard of. So why? Why did everyone just get it instantly? Physical credibility. Cavill's physique doesn't look like it was built in a fancy gym for a movie. It looks like it was built for pure survival. He just carries this sense of real, exhausting violence. See, Wolverine isn't supposed to look cool. He's supposed to look like a cornered animal who's been through hell, and Cavill just has that look, naturally. Okay, so we've got The Witcher's powerful silence, Superman's unfinished promise, and Wolverine's instant psychic casting. Let's pull all these threads together and figure out what the actual secret is to this whole Henry Cavill phenomenon. Here it is. This is the absolute heart of it. His power doesn't just come from being a talented actor. It comes from a deep, genuine, and you can just feel it, a real belief in the characters he plays. He treats these imaginary people with the kind of respect you'd give to a real-world legend. And this right here, this is where he runs into trouble with the whole Hollywood machine. See, studios want actors who are flexible, who will adapt to whatever vision they have this week. But Cavill, he adapts himself to the character's vision, the one from the original books or comics. He serves the character, not just the franchise. And when those two things clash, he's out. And that's exactly why other actors stepping into his roles can feel so wrong. They can be amazing actors, but it feels like they're playing a part, like they're wearing a costume. With Cavill, that line gets blurry. It feels like the character just walked off the page and into the real world. His belief becomes our belief. In the end, it really just boils down to this simple truth. You can always find another talented actor. You can always write a bigger check. But you cannot fake genuine, deep-seated belief in a character. That's the secret sauce, and you just can't manufacture it. So after all of this, with all the fan campaigns and petitions, you start to realize maybe we're all asking the wrong question. The conversation isn't really about whether he should come back to these roles. The real question is this. When you have an actor who embodies a character so completely, with so much belief that the two become one in our minds, why on earth was he ever allowed to leave in the first place? Because when a character finally feels real, watching them get taken away before their story is over, well, that doesn't feel like a casting change. It feels like a theft.